Welcome to LearnToBuildABusiness.com podcast. This is your host, Ray Ortega, and I'm here to talk about how to build a business. I have been building businesses for my whole life since I was 16 years old. Unfortunately, for most of them, I have failed. However, my most successful business is the one that I currently have. It is a company called Grata Software, and we are a software engineering consultancy company. What we do is we work with small businesses and helping them scale their business using technology. I love working with entrepreneurs, and that's one of the reasons why we focus on small businesses. And in what we've created and what you're hearing, this whole LearnToBuildABusiness.com, what that is a brand that we have created where we help people who are transitioning from working at a corporate job to trying to become their own entrepreneur. It's something that we feel passionate about, especially me personally. I'm a huge entrepreneur type person. Like I said, ever since I was 16 years old, I've been building businesses. Again, most of them unfortunately failed. Some of them did succeed for a certain amount of time. But for the most part, I've learned a lot over the years, over 20 years. I mean, think about it. I started when I was 16. That would be 1996-ish. And here we are in 2023, heading into 2024. And I'm still doing the entrepreneurship thing. I have gone back and forth between working at companies and then being an entrepreneur or, starting a business. And then when that business didn't work, then I went back to work and then I started another business. I can honestly tell you that I'm probably the worst employee at this point because I just have a hard time working for other people. I rather work for clients that pay me a very good amount of money to perform services and sell them products and things like that. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I love to do. So the reason why I'm doing this podcast is because we are starting to launch our LearnToBuildABusiness.com site, and we have started providing. We have a webinar going on. We have a course, free mini course that we've provided that kind of goes to the initial phases of starting a company. First of all, trying to come up with a good business idea to sell a good product or service that meets your needs or not meets the needs of certain customers, but it meets your strengths essentially. Then once you have this idea, then you need to go target a market, like an audience. So we show you how to target an audience. And then after you target an audience, we show you how to market to that audience, how to make sure you have the right messaging, the right location, the right format, or there's the thing called the flywheel. And it's basically the way you get customers into what's called your funnel. And we don't go over the funnel in the first phase of this whole thing. We're just going over business foundations because 98% of businesses out there that fail within the 10 years, and especially small businesses. And the reason why is because most people start a business that don't have the fundamentals to start a business. I had that same problem. When I was starting all those businesses and I was failing, it was because I didn't really know how to run a business. I had come from a business family and I saw my dad and my uncle and everybody run their own businesses, but I didn't know how they actually ran them. I only got to see small parts. I got to see my dad do the books. I got to see how he ordered his product, through, he owned a gas station, how he ordered gas from the fuel company, like I got to see small little components, but not overall how to run the business because there's so many components to it, right? There's personalities, there's people, there's products, there's services, there's operations, and then there's this thing called supply chain, which people that you buy product from or wholesale product from, and then there's there's buyer suppliers, there's all these different things involved. And I didn't really know any of that stuff. In fact, it wasn't until I decided to go back to school and I went to college to learn business from a more academic perspective. I can honestly tell you I was very street smart. So I was always good in sales and I could go out there and I could sell anything. However, I just didn't have the acumen to run the business. And I figured going back to college and learning that would be better, which it actually did. Because Grata Software was the first real business I started after I graduated from college with my business degree. And it's the one that I've been able to run like a real business. We're 9 years in, $1 million company. However, the thing is it took 9 years to get there. It's not a high growth company. It was a lifestyle business, but I had to manage it. And I had to manage the money, the cash flow, had to manage the business, the operations, all that stuff. So all of those things that I've learned over the years that I failed at first and then went to school to learn and then obviously succeeded in this business, these are all things that all this information and knowledge that we're providing in this program that we're offering. And so our first program is actually a business foundations program. In fact, I'm going to show you real quick what all of this looks like. So first of all, if you go to learntobuildabusiness.com, you're going to get to this website. Pardon the pose. I am not photogenic. So I just took a bunch of shots and whatever, and the marketing did whatever. So, but I'm just not photogenic. So I'm sorry if it looks kind of like I'm doing like a muscle move. Actually, my arms are not that big. It's just the lens of the camera. And so this site is our main site. It's called learntobuildabusiness.com. Learntobuildabusiness.com. If you go to this site, it basically provides you an option for newsletter. And then if you go down, you'll see different posts, recent posts that we have. And we're filling this information out as we go. We actually, on Grata Software side, on my other company, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of posts that get thousands of views per week or per month. And it's because the content's really good. And so we're doing the same thing here. We want to provide really solid business content for you. And so you can subscribe here to the newsletter again. And then here are featured products. Like right now, we don't have that many products. The main product that we're doing right now is we have the AI-powered business inception webinar. So this is where I show you, this is essentially the webinar as I talk about. This is where I show you how to find the right product or service, how to find the right target audience, and how to sell to that target audience using artificial intelligence. Being a tech company that we are, we not only experience artificial intelligence, we actually build artificial intelligence. So we know how artificial intelligence works. We know what it can do, what it cannot do. And so we're very, what's the word I'm looking for? We're very tight on how we use artificial intelligence to get the results, because you could get dirty information back from artificial intelligence. So we make sure that we prompt it correctly to get the right information that you can use in order to forge your way forward into coming up with a good product or service and target market and marketing strategy. So that's what the AI Powered Business Inception webinar is. So if you take that, it's free. You don't have to pay for anything. You just go on there. Obviously, at the end, if you like what we're doing and you think you want to learn more, then you can obviously go into the offer. We do have an offer in the back end of that. And it's actually an amazing offer just because we are still in the infancy stage. So we haven't launched this to the public in full scale yet. When that happens, pricing changes, demand changes, everything changes. So right now it's a perfect opportunity to get in on the ground floor. But first, before you do anything, I want you to check out the free course. And then this is the big one. This is the big course, or not course, but the membership site that we're doing now. It's the all-in-one business launch blueprint. It's the business foundations course. It's exactly what it means. It's the foundations of running a business, all the steps that are required. This goes in depth. So let me give you a brief understanding of how business works today, and maybe this will help you out. And if you already know this, then just bear with me for a second. So starting a business today is a little bit different than we did 20 years ago. Starting a business today is all about getting to market as quickly as possible with whatever product service you have and finding if you have customer traction. That is how you do business today. And being in the tech world, that is exactly how every tech product gets launched. So what you do is you get an idea of whatever product or service you want to do, and then you find your target audience, and then you go market to that target audience. Chances are you're marketing through social media, Facebook, TikTok, or whatever, or you're doing old school. Like if you're a restaurant, you're still going out and doing flyers and door hangers and all that kind of stuff. So those are things that like you can do like right off the bat to launch your business, get started, get going, right? Business foundations, what we're doing there is I'm basically giving you like a 4-year degree business course where essentially we're going through a more methodical, like this is how you build a business. It's like kind of a mixture between traditional and new way of start a business. And that's what you get with that one. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand that's the reason why it's a membership site, because it's not just going to be, oh, this is how you start a business. No, we're going to talk about everything from the start, the sales, how to do sales, how to market people, how to do marketing strategies, how to perform those marketing strategies. We're going to be talking about how you even register your company, and then getting your tax ID, setting up your bank account, like all the things that are fundamental and foundational when starting a business. And then we're even talking about cash flow management, all those kind of things, because the reality is our goal, and this is a big goal of mine, is that I want over 1 million of you to develop or generate over $1 million in revenue per year, because I want you to build financial wealth for you and your family. It's a huge thing for me because that's essentially the reason and the purpose why I succeeded in the business I have today. When I was about 20 years ago, My wife and I have been married for 20 years, and we had children right away. And for 20 years, or for most of those 20 years, we had been struggling financially because we kind of went out on our own. And we had to raise two kids with no careers, no education. Again, being an entrepreneur, you know how that is. Most people say what entrepreneurs is just like saying you're unemployed, right? Because that's kind of what it was like. I was like unemployed, but I was like really trying to build a business, but I was unemployed. And so when you're going through that, it's a tough struggle, right? So when you're trying to build a business through that, so over the years, and the thing is, I didn't have the foundations and all that kind of stuff. So it took all of those years. And the other thing, I missed this part, but the other thing is throughout that time, I was just trying to make money. I was just trying to like be, I was always had this thing. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire, and I want to have nice cars, and I want to have this, and I want to have that. It was all materialistic, right? And it wasn't until in 2014, and this is why the dates are so important, because in 2014, when I registered Grata Software, the reason why I registered the company was because in a span of 1 month, I had both my daughters were hospitalized, and they were hospitalized for like a week each. And I was working at a perfect job. I was doing software engineering, making 6 figures a year, great benefits. And you would think that like I was on top of the world. I had just put a down payment on a house. Everything was grand, right? And I got a call from my wife saying that one daughter, had one of my daughters was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And as we were working through the thyroid cancer situation, then my other daughter had a violent seizure, had to be hospitalized for like a week. So I'm a problem solver, not an emotional person. So it's not like I sat there and cried about it and went, oh, boo-hoo, like, how am I going to live my life? Da, da, da. No, I actually sat there and go, okay, wait, I need to solve this problem. However, I had an insurmountable amount of bills that were coming in. It was just crazy. I was taking a lot of time off of work, and I had just got promoted, and I was the lead of the team, the development team at the time. So all these things were just pounding on top of me. And I sat there going like, there's no freaking way. Like, I can't do this. Like, I have to do something different. I have to do something more important. So that's kind of where my motivation and my passion for business and technology turned into a purpose, because now my purpose was I need to take care of my family. I need to be able to support when my daughters have to go to the hospital for whatever reason, if my wife ever gets sick, like all those things that like insurance should have covered. But let's be honest. How much does insurance actually cover? So I had to make that decision to say this is not going to happen again. So therefore, I launched the company, originally launched in 2014, like I said, February. However, I didn't really get pushed over the edge yet. What really pushed me over the edge was when I was working for that startup, and then my wife got in a car accident, and then literally we lost the car, and my wife now had to have physical therapy. And it was kind of like, bro, now's the time. Like, you can't wait any longer. And that was literally the trigger. That was the trigger that made me say I need to do this for real, right? And thankfully, at the time, I had a business partner that was very helpful. She was out doing sales and helped me build the business and helped me at least start the business. A year later, unfortunately, her and I had to split off because of she had another company that was doing very well, and so I ended up having to run the company myself. Which, again, good. I'm a salesperson. Been a salesperson my whole life. I had no problem getting business and started to build the business from there on. And like I said, all of that stuff just culminated, and here we are 9 years later. So it's possible, right? So no matter what the struggles, no matter what the frustrations, no matter what's going on in your life, it is possible to do this. And that's what we're trying to show you with the Business Foundations courses. If you know the foundations, you can run a business. And you can run a business that could just support you in the most minimal way, replacing your income, your current work income, or you can run a business that later on you can scale. And I say later on because the first goal is replace your income. If you can replace your income, then at least you've passed that first step. So Robert Kiyosaki, who's one of my favorite authors, he has a book called Cash Flow Quadrants, and he talks about the different phases of moving from being an employee to being self-employed to owning a business to essentially being an investor. And the way it works is that when you're an employee, you're trading your time for money. When you move to a self-employed, you're still trading your time for money, but you're actually choosing when you trade your time for money. So it's a little bit better, got a little bit more freedom. Then when you go to a business owner is flat out like, I have people working for me, I'm spending and investing money, and it's turning out, and my business is turning out revenue and profit, and you're earning money that way, right? So essentially you're investing money to get more money out of your business, right? You're buying resources, you're buying people, Not the way that I said that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So, and then the next thing is the investor, right? So the investor, now you're just throwing money in and getting money back. That's what that is, right? And so again, going back to what I was saying, that's why we have the all-in-one business course, the business foundation course. And I hope that makes sense to you. Pardon me as I go back to main camera. Okay. So that's basically what we're doing, right? We're starting this learntobuildabusiness.com. I'm really excited about it. I really am, because this is, again, a passion of mine. I have two passions. I can do technology. And when I mean do technology, I don't mean like use tech. I use technology all day long. Like, I'm good at that. I have an audio engineering degree. I have experience working in the music business as an audio engineer. I have experience working in film. I actually, if you go to IMDb, you'll see my name, Ray, R-E-Y, Ortega. You'll see I was a key camera PA on a film set. I also did boom microphone for a pilot TV show. I've worked in a TV studio. Again, I've built programs, software left and right for the last 20 years. One of my biggest things I did was I built the full live and on-demand video streaming service for one of the largest colleges in the country. And it was back when online courses were in their infancy stage and nobody was really doing lectures online. So I built one of the first systems that allowed professors to do lectures online. So I've done a lot. And I have so many experiences. And the best part is now, like after all these years, I get to share it with you. I get to share all of these things that could help you. And that's what I want to do. And I still am going to continue building businesses. There's no doubt about that. But now the great thing is now you get to find out like what I'm doing. Now you get to hear like the stories and the stuff that happens. And all of that stuff, like I said, is going to be in these types of courses. So right here we have the foundations course. The next step is the not scalability. The next one's the continuity course, where essentially, because first you build a business, right? You start generating income, you start replacing your income, and then you start to grow it a little bit. But then to really grow it, you need to build continuity and recurring revenue. So we show you how to do that in the next phase, which is a whole different part of the program. And then the last part of it is full scalability. And I love that part because that part's where I'm literally going all in on tech. Because I could tell you, like, the amount of tech that we build for companies out there, we've helped so many companies. And it's just like, the tech is freaking cool. Like, I love building tech. Like, we actually have two current new prospects that have come in that is all AI. And we've been doing AI. We've been dealing with TensorFlow, Keras, all these different technologies. I'm telling you, it's like, this is what I love to do. And I hope it shows. And I hope you're excited too. I look forward to having you part of the course, part of the program. If not, just listening to our podcast. Because this is just the opening podcast. And this is me making a first introduction. But we're obviously going to have a lot more moving forward. So, looking forward to it. See you guys in the next one.